We are going to start off today with going down memory lane to the beginning of your career. So if you could hold this and tell us a little bit about what's going on here. This was back in 93?
No, 94 I think, 94,
Yeah.
95. It was the, I think it was the first spell of Giovanni Trapattoni, who had 2 spells at the club. And yeah, very important time for me as a player, because he, we had a very young team then, a lot of young players, and he took a lot of time with us. After training, when everybody else has gone home, he would stay behind with 2 or 3 players, keep working on certain things. And he's been a huge influence in my career, and I'm very grateful that I had a manager of his caliber and quality at that stage, because as a young player you need to learn. And this is the warm-up in Munich. We see Lothar Matthäus leading the line, Carsten Janker, Markus Münch, Oliver Kreuzer, Christian Nörling, who ended up being director of football in Munich afterwards. So yeah, good old days.
Perfect. Let's get to the next one.
The next one, this is the...
Your first Bundesliga title.
That's right, this is 94. Yeah, I made my debut. This is actually the season before Trapattoni arrived. Franz Beckenbauer took over around Christmas. As a manager, I found it hard to break into the first team, and then Franz Beckenbauer took over at Christmas because Erich Ribbeck, the old coach, got the sack. And yeah, he took me on pre-season in January. He liked what he saw, and he said, "You're staying with us now." And made my debut that year. Played a few times. We ended up winning the Bundesliga, and yeah, I was finally a first-team player for Bayern Munich.
How was that like, though? I mean, to win on your first year?
It was great, and especially when you see the players. There were a lot of experienced players, and I did learn a lot of these players. And yeah, when you go to a club, I went to Bayern Munich when I was 16. You want to break into the first team. It wasn't a smooth transition because I had to wait for a number of years, but if you keep patient, keep working hard, eventually paid off. So yeah, it was a very important year for me.
Perfect. Next, you left Bayern Munich for Newcastle. Why did you leave Bayern though?
Well, I played in the first team for 4.5 years, and I started playing for Germany in '97. But I never felt I fulfilled my potential in Munich, because I was, as I said, I went there when I was 16. I always had the feeling I was the young boy who joined the club as a youth team player, and I felt myself that I can do so much more, and that for one reason or another it didn't bring out the best in me, and I thought I need to go and leave the club to fulfill my potential. I played for the best club in Germany, so there was only one place to go, another country to go, so I had to leave Germany. Newcastle showed the keenest interest. Kenny Dalglish was a manager. A deal was done after the World Cup, so straight after the World Cup '98 I went to Newcastle. This is actually my first game at Anfield. Patrick Berger is the opponent here. Not too happy memories, because I got sent off and we lost 4-2.
Oh no.
But that was a memorable experience, because it was the first time I stood in the tunnel at Anfield. The first time I heard "You'll Never Walk Alone," and I was a bit envious and jealous, really, looking at the other guys next to me, because they had the chance to play in front of these fans every other week.
Everyone talks about that, you know, about the fans at Anfield. What is it like? I mean, can you explain the feeling?
Well, in this day and age, a lot of teams or a lot of clubs have got new stadia. They build new stadia because the capacity hasn't been big enough. And Anfield is one of the few iconic, legendary, historic stadia where a lot of battles have been fought, and it never lost any of its charm. And as I said, when whoever's been at Anfield once, when 45,000 sing "You'll Never Walk Alone," it's...
Do you get goosebumps?
Yeah, I still do now. I certainly did there on my first time there. I've been there hundreds of times now, but I still do now. Next one is...
As a Liverpool player?
Yeah, this is
Man United.
United.
Rivals.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's the only time we'll see you sitting on a Man United bench, right?
Yeah, lying.
Do you remember that?
I actually remember that, because I think it was Ryan Giggs who pushed me in there.
Oh no.
Because it was, as you know, Anfield is a pretty tight stadium, and I think I kept the ball in play. I was a bit off balance, and it only took a little shove or a push to send me flying. And yeah, it looks like Steve McLaren caught me there. So there was no harm done, but I do remember it pretty well, because I think it was the only time I ended up in the in the stand or in the, on the opposition's bench.
And you won that match as well, so.
Yeah, we beat them most times. We had a pretty good record against them, so we didn't mind playing against Man United, home or away. We had a very good, obviously this is at Anfield, but even at Old Trafford, I think we beat them 3 years running. And yeah, we had their measure for some reason because they had a fantastic team at the time, but yeah, the way they played, it suited us. And in my spell at Liverpool, we had a very good record against them.
How was the rivalry?
Well, a big rivalry. It's only a crossroad. It's only a 25, 30 mile difference between, or distance between the two teams, between Liverpool and Manchester. Yeah, always big rivals. Unfortunately, we never pipped them to the league, never won the Premier League, but we fought some very good battles against them. One of them was in the League Cup final in 2003, later on. And yeah, with Ferguson and Beckham and Giggs and all these top players, Roy Keane, they're always memorable games. Next one is in 2002, the
World Cup final.
Yeah, the World Cup final in Yokohama. We see here Rivaldo, Gilberto and Ronaldo.
What was it like playing against them?
Well, it was a challenge. You know, they had a very good team, but I don't think it was a Brazil team that was unbeatable, and that's really the one thing that, you know, looking back now, we had our most influential player, Michael Ballack. He got his second booking in the semi-final, so he was suspended for the final. But we still had our chances. We probably played our best game in the tournament against them. Leading up to the final, we only conceded 1 goal all tournament, so we knew we can defend, and in Ballack and in Miroslav Klose, we had 2 players who were always capable of scoring. Unfortunately, Ballack couldn't play. We hit the post when it was 0-0, and the game, you know, don't want to say we should have won, but certainly we had our chances to win. But Ronaldo, the form he was in at the time, scored 2 goals. We lost the game 2-0, and unfortunately didn't go home with the World Cup.
How was the atmosphere in the changing room after that, after the final whistle? Yeah,
very downbeat because as
you're so close.
You're so close and yet so far. Obviously, it's great because we had a fantastic team spirit. I think that was one of the biggest reasons why we made it to the final. But in a tournament, the winner takes it all, and unfortunately, it was Brazil, not us.
UEFA Champions League 2005, historic win. Now you said that you never, you always gave yourself time to heal. When you had an injury, but you actually played with a broken leg at that point.
Well, this is the day after when we come up. I probably still don't know. I had a stress fracture in my right foot, a metatarsal. But even there, I don't know, or I didn't know at the time I did it. It happened towards the end of the game, 5 minutes before the end of extra time. Adrenaline is flowing, so it didn't really affect me. It never entered my head to come off because we used all our substitutions, and we were there to.
And you took the penalty as well.
Yeah, I took the first penalty, but as I said, I felt there's something not right in my foot, but it didn't stop me from taking a penalty. So this was a homecoming. There was up to 1 million people in Liverpool. The captain is Steven Gerrard, John Anarese, Jamie Carragher, Steve Finnan, Igor Biscan, Dudek, who made that great save in the last minute of extra time and then saved a couple of pens. Fantastic team. And to win it for the 5th time with Liverpool, so many happy people in the streets. That's really the one thing that stands out, of the one thing that I will remember for the rest of my life was the homecoming, when so many happy people in Liverpool. Unfortunately, it hasn't been won since, but the people had to wait 21 years, from '84 to 2005, when it was last one. So a lot of these people who were on the streets there would have never seen the European Cup in the flesh. So it was a great 2-3 days. Then we move on the year after. That was actually my last game for Liverpool, the FA Cup final against West Ham. Again, where we came back from behind, 2-0 down, 3-1 down, got into extra time, got into penalties, and won again on penalties.
It's a great year to be a Liverpool player, huh?
No, it was a great time to be there because we just had that knack of finding a way to stay in games, and when the tighter it was, the better we were, because under pressure we were, I think, one of the best teams. We didn't make many mistakes when when the chips were down.
Yeah.
And you know, we won the second penalty shootout in 2 years. And I was pretty confident because after beating AC Milan on penalties, I was pretty confident we're going to beat West Ham. And in Pepe Reina, who came to the club this season, we probably had one of the best keepers on penalties. I think he saved 2-3 on the day, even though he doesn't look very happy here. Don't know why.
Bad shot of him.
Yeah, no, it was a great time, and as it happened, it turned out to be my last game for Liverpool, but a very enjoyable 7 years. This is another shot from the
Super Cup.
That's a Super Cup. Yeah, that was before. That was actually after winning the Champions League when we played against Moscow. I think we played. Xabi Alonso, Fernando Morientes, Paulo Sen, Luis Garcia. A lot of French players, Spanish players, 2 French players, and Sinamba Pongol and Cisse. Now we just had we always had some very good teams. You know, sometimes you forget how, because people say, oh, there were better teams, you never won the league. No, we didn't. But if you look at the players we had, you know, Morientes, one of the all-time record scorers in the Champions League. Xabi Alonso, the career he's made, being a World Cup winner, European champion. Sissoko here in the front, who's been a great servant for us. Pepe Reina. So yeah, fantastic guy. Not only fantastic players, but I think what always was probably our biggest strength, that they were all good guys, and we always got on well, and team spirit was always you know, one of our biggest strengths. Yeah, then my journey took me to Manchester City as the game we played against Liverpool probably in 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
At the Kite and
was that back in
Anfield.
Anfield?
No, this is at the Etihad.
Oh, at the Etihad.
I think we drew the game 0-0. I think it was just before Christmas. That was my second season, I think, at
City.
At City with Sven-Goran Eriksson as a manager, who's been a tremendous character and manager. So unfortunately, I only got to work with him for 1 year. I think we see later. I joined his coaching staff afterwards. A great man to create the right atmosphere for players to express themselves and bring out the best in players. He's done that throughout his career, and this is why he's been in the game for so long and so successful.
Was it weird though, playing your former teammates?
Yes and no. It you know, things come to an end and it happens, and you know, you can't be sentimental. You've got to keep the emotions out. You know, as I said, I had a fantastic time at Liverpool. But I made the decision or the choice to join Manchester City, another fantastic club, great fan base. And yeah, more because you have some personal relationships. Jamie Carragher was still part of the team, Steve Gerrard. So guys you played with for 6 or 7 years, you share the same dressing room. That's the only thing. But as I said, you know, I was paid by Manchester City then, and you have to try your best for your new team to get a result, which we did on the day, because we held a very good Liverpool team to a 0-0 there. Yeah, then as I said, I joined Leicester with Sven as a first team coach. And working with a man of that experience, I learned a lot, I've got to say, in the 6 months I was with him, because when you see every day he works, what he thinks, how he approaches things, what he thinks about players, how he talks to players, and how he builds a team and tries to create a team spirit, and also his calmness, because I think one of the most important things is not to panic as a player and a manager. And he certainly never did that, because he was one of the calmest people I ever come across. And a pleasure to work with him. I'm still in touch with him now. Great man, great manager.
Okay. And then you became the manager of Stockport County.
That's right. The possibility or the opportunity to go there, I thought I'd make that step. But there was a lot of unrest in the boardroom, because people were there. There was always trouble upstairs, and the club was gonna get taken over. Eventually, it didn't get taken over. And there was a day I left, so I was only there for 3 months. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had some very good players there, some young players who never made it to the highest level for one reason or another. But no, a very enjoyable experience, and you know, in years to come, you know, who knows? I might be back on a bench somewhere.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we might see you managing again.
Obviously, I'm happy with what I'm doing now, but given the opportunity, yeah, I wouldn't rule it out at all. It's certainly something that will always be in the back of my mind because football has been my life, and yeah, I wouldn't rule it out.
Okay, thank you so much, Didi. We are now going to go to the next segment where we ask you fan questions. I'll hold that for you.